Hey everyone, it's LaDon. Wanted to share with you a question I received in my inbox about gel. And the reason I'm doing a video on this is because I thought, you know what, this is like pretty common, and perhaps we have an opportunity to kind of talk about it, and I can share with you basically my response to the question. And so the question came from a young lady who has been using gel, um, and she's transitioning. And she said she's been receiving, or she's been getting a lot of flaking with use of gel, and she wasn't sure if this is what she should expect from gel or if there are other products she could potentially use rather than gels. So I'm just going to just share kind of what I know about gels at this point. So, sometimes sometimes I use gels and other times I don't. I've been using gel a lot over, I would say, the last 6 months um, as my styler. Prior to that, I was just kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I would use it, sometimes I wouldn't. And I've never had an issue with flaking. But one thing I've learned is if you do occasionally, or if you do experience flaking, don't chalk it up to just being something to expect from gels, because you don't necessarily have to experience flaking just because you're using gels. The first thing I would do would be to look at the products you're using with your gel. There are some gels that just don't play well with others. I'll give you an example. Or, even if you are applying gels and you have other products on your hair, like maybe you have you've not washed, in between styles per se. So maybe you did a braid out and now you've just decided to, saturate your hair with a water bottle and transition into a wash and go or something like that. You will still have, residue of the products, or gels or stylers you used on your hair to do your braid out or twist out or whatever that previous style was. And so if you do a wash and go, just using this as an example, and then you add a gel to it, it may not mix well with those other products, which will give you um, flaking or hair boogers, as people call them. I think that is so funny. But that's what they look like. So I had that problem, I noticed, when I used, what did I use? I did a wash and go using, what did I use? I used Kiss My Face Upper Management Gel with Kinky Curly Not Today as my leave-in. So did a wash and go, wore it for a couple of days, and then I knew the weather was going to be pretty humid and the dews were going to be high. So I wanted to transition into a different gel. So something with a little more hold. And so I didn't have time to wash my hair. So what I did was I saturated my hair, I got it wet with water, and then I did my normal process for adding the gel, a new gel, which I use the Kinky Curly Curling Custard because it has a little more hold. The next day I noticed I had a lot of flaking in my hair. And what happened was I learned that the Kinky Curly Curling Custard and the Kiss My Face Upper Management Gel simply do not mix well together. And so that helped me to understand that I really need to, wash my hair if I'm going to do something like that, because gels, those two gels don't play well together, meaning you don't have good results. You'll have, either flaking or, your hair might not feel good. That's what I mean by, the products don't play well together. You just don't have the outcome you want, either because you have flakes or because you don't like the way your hair feels. So that was a lesson I had to learn. That happened to me twice. Lesson learned. So again, the first thing I would do is, keep the gel you have, um, and look at the products you're mixing it with. If you're using gel alone, then I would say, okay, maybe you need to look at how much you're applying and perhaps apply a little less gel, or consider applying it when your hair is soaking wet. And if that doesn't work, then you may want to pitch that gel and try a different gel, because maybe the formulation in that particular gel is not the best for your hair. But um, you know, if if you're not using gel only, I would definitely suggest looking at the products you're using along with the gel, because it could just be a situation where it's not mixing well with those other products. So I would, use the gel and then take away one of the products you normally would put on your hair, just to see, which one of them may be interacting with the gel to cause the flaking. The other thing is I would use less product. Another tip might be to apply the gel to your hair while your hair is still very, very wet. That'll help dilute it a little bit so it's not thick and cakey. And that can happen sometimes, and cause you to have flaking. So, use less product and apply it to your hair while it's soaking wet. That works really well for me. So that's a tip I would share. And maybe seeing if that works. But gels in and of themselves don't necessarily have to cause you flaking. Typically, it's something that's been introduced um, to the hair aside from the gels, or using too much gel. Okay, those are typically, in my experiences, the cause of flaking. Good gels I like are I like Eco Styler gels. I'm not, well, let me say this. I liked the green gel when I was transitioning, and I think it worked really well on helping to hold those natural, or not natural, the relaxed strands at the ends. I think it did a really good job of helping those relaxed ends hold the hairstyle, whether I did rod outs or whether I did Bantu knot outs, or whatever it was. So it worked really well on my hair when I was transitioning. Being fully natural, I really don't like the Eco Styler with a green container that's with the olive oil. I don't like to use it on my hair. I find that my hair is much drier when I use it, and that's really the only reason I don't care for it much, now that I'm fully natural. In its place, I've swapped it out for the Eco Styler with argan oil. That is just the bomb. It's great on wash and goes. It's great on twist outs, braid outs. It's a very good gel. So it has a red cap, and it will say with argan oil. So that's a really great gel. I've had no issues with flaking. And there's a clear Eco Styler gel. I've not used that one. I hear that it's really good for slicking hair. I don't use gel for slicking my hair down. I tend to use a pomade that I make. Um, but I hear that's really good for those of you who might be interested, in that. So the clear one is supposed to be really good as well. The only thing you have to be careful of with Eco Styler gels is the protein. It's a pretty protein rich gel, so it's not something that I can use, for instance, on a regular basis, because my hair is somewhat sensitive to protein. So I will get like straight hairs if I use it too long. But aside from that, I just think it's a really great gel, and it's really, really cost effective. You can get a container that's like about this big for, I want to say, like $4, three something. There's a container that's about this, maybe this big. You can get that one for like, I think three something. So it's really, really cost effective, and it lasts a long time. Like I bought the bigger one. It's kind of like this big. I bought that one, I want to say 2 months ago, and we haven't even made a dent in it, and that's with me using it and my daughter. So very cost effective. Another gel I like, of course, as you know, is Kiss My Face Upper Management Gel. That's a great, great gel. It is, natural. It everything in it rinses out with water. It has a great soft to medium hold. And you can even use it, I have found, in higher dews. If you are really good about sealing your ends, you can get really good hold with it. But it's a great gel, and I've not had really I've never had an issue with that flaking up unless I put like my other gel suggestion, which is Kiki Curly curling custard on top of it. Those two don't work well together. But going back to the Kiss My Face Upper Management Gel, you can get a container. This is not it, but you could get a container like this size of it, and this is 8 fluid ounces. You can get a container like that of it for between $6.99 and $9.99. $6.99 and $9.99. I buy mine from Whole Foods, and they have it on sale every so often where you can get like $2 off. So I think normally it's either $8.99 or $9.99, and so then you can get it on sale for $6.99 or $7.99. But yeah, I get it from Whole Foods. I think you can also buy it on the internet. I've just not had to explore that option. So, but I'm sure you could buy it on the internet. So that's a great gel, and it lasts a very long time. You don't need a whole lot of it, but it's great gel. I also like, again, going back to the Kinky Curly Curling Custard. People go back and forth about that gel. Some people like it, some people hate it, but it's a really good gel. It's really good at um, keeping your curls intact, and helps you to maintain curl definition even during the most humid days. Eco Styler is also really good for that as well. But this one, it's natural, and it has great humectants in it. And even though it has the humectants, it still allows you to keep your curl definition on humid days or days where the dews are really high. So I always recommend that. Your hair can get crunchy with that, but I have found that if you apply it when your hair is soaking wet, and you could even add a little bit of oil to your hair before you put the gel on, just really a few drops, and just kind of scrunching it in, and your then applying your Kinky Curly curling custard to the hair. That will help you to reduce some of the crunch you might experience. But if you don't want to put the oil on and just go ahead and put the Kiki Curly Curly custard on and let it dry, once it dries, just take a few drops of extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil or jojoba oil, put it in the palms of your hands like that, and then scrunch. And you're doing what's called scrunching the crunch out, and you'll notice your hair will get softer right away. And then by day 2, it's really all gone. The one thing I like about the Kinky Curly Curling Custard is that you can get multi-day hair out of it. I have gotten up to, with wash and goes, I've gotten up to 6-day hair out of it. So it's definitely one of my favorites. Another gel I like to use is a homemade gel with homemade flax seeds, or it's called homemade flaxseed gel. And I love that gel because, of course, it's 100% natural. I've not experienced any flaking at all when using it. It, of course, it's natural, and so you receive all of the wonderful benefits from the flax seeds, as well as anything else you might put in it. I like to put in some essential oils in it, and I also like to put carrier oils in it as well. So maybe I'll do a recipe for that and kind of show you how I make my homemade flaxseed gel. But I use that more in the winter time. I've not used it at all this summer, but it's a really great gel as well. So I hope this is helpful. Don't give up on those gels. They're actually great stylers, great price points, and so just watch what you're adding to your hair along with those gels, and you should avoid any type of flaking. Let me know how this works for you. I hope you liked the video. Let me know by commenting or giving it a thumbs up or sending me an email. All right, take care. Have a great day.